Hi, and welcome to City Happenings. I'm Mayor David Black. We enjoy a strong D.A.R.E program with our police department. Now our D.A.R.E officers are headed to the National D.A.R.E Conference to gain first-hand knowledge of the latest techniques and information. And the 7th Annual Mayor's Triathlon was recently held. We'll get the event director's thoughts. And the city also saw the Twilight Bike Criterium once again grace our streets. The race director tells us how things went. These stories are next in City Happenings for the week of July 25th.
Thanks, Mayor Black. Our police department D.A.R.E officers are on their way to the National D.A.R.E Conference.
The conference is always exciting. There's always new presenters with new information. And one of the things you have to understand when you start talking about D.A.R.E, it is about teaching kids about the dangers of drugs. And that drug world is changing every day. There's always something new coming up. The latest thing last year was bath salts kids are getting involved with. Now it's a thing called Keef Cola, which is a drinkable marijuana drink that's legal in Colorado now. So it's always changing. And the same thing with the gangs, whether it's drugs, whether it's behaviors, different learning disabilities that children are having today. There's always something new going on out there, and that's what the conference is about. You literally spend 4 days sitting in classrooms and taking all the information in you can, because there's tons of it there, and you're only going to get about 1/3 of the presentations there just because of the time frames. But this particular conference is really unique because they're going to have available the training for the new curriculum that's going to come out next summer, summer of 2012. It's a brand new, completely different look at the way D.A.R.E is going to operate. So I'll spend 1 full day training just to get certified for the new curriculum. Outside of that, there's some bully classes I'm going to be taking about bullying, because that's an ever-changing thing with electronic iPads, iPods, cell phones, the text messaging and the bullying that gets tied into that. So there's just a wealth of information that comes out at these conferences, and that's really the main reason we go. It is amazing. The last D.A.R.E conference I went to was in 2001, and I actually ended up sitting at a table at one of the evening banquets with some guys from South America. And one of them spoke pretty good English and translated for the others, and it was great sitting talking to them, because they're actually national police officers. All the law enforcement officers are assigned to certain towns, but they're actually teaching D.A.R.E in probably one of the highest cocaine producing countries in the world. It was really amazing to sit and get to talk to those guys about the challenges they face teaching kids about drugs and the dangers versus what we do here in the States, because it's a whole different world. So we really get to interact with a lot of different people from around the world, not just the country. It is an international conference, and you just get a real appreciation for your own situation sometimes, talking to the struggles that some of those people have.
The D.A.R.E officers aren't the only Papillion reps to this conference. The well-known 57 Chevy Police Cruiser is also making the trip.
You know, it's an absolutely fabulously beautiful car, and to think that that car was completely renovated and donated to the police department in 1997. We've had that thing 14 years, and it still looks like the day that they redid it. It's a beautiful car. It stands out everywhere we go, and it's representative of the D.A.R.E program here in Papillion. We like it to be top-notch. We want it to be sparkly and shiny and do the best we can do, and that car represents that. This is a very unique opportunity for us to be able to take that car to the International D.A.R.E Conference. I've been to 3 D.A.R.E conferences in my entire career, and they all had car shows, and they have all these really neat H3 Hummers all decked out with decals and plasma TVs in the back of them running, big Dodge 4-wheel drive quad cab pickups, diesels, all these really neat vehicles, a couple of neat custom choppers I saw. Nothing like this car, and our expectations are high that we'll roll that thing in there, and then it'll be the hit. It's going to be the star of that auto show. That's our goal. And being around cars all my life, I can tell you, if I showed up to that car show unknowing, that's the car that I'd spend my time looking at, because it is unique. For any car in this country, anybody that has a D.A.R.E car, this car is unique.
The 7th Mayor's Triathlon took place out at Walnut Creek. We asked the race director how things went.
They went great. You know, it was a very hot day, as you all know, and you know, we had all the supplies were there. That we didn't run out of any supplies. You know, not until the very end when we were cleaning up. So it was great. We had a safe race. Nobody got majorly injured or anything like that. We had a few people, you know, with just the heat need to be looked at, but you know, that's normal. Other than that, I think everything went smoothly.
The bike course was changed back to the course of 2 years ago.
Oh, it's huge. You know, it's for both this event and the duathlon. You know, it's the same bike course, and like I said before, for the duathlon, it makes the event safer. It just makes it easier for the riders. You know, it gives them more space to pass, and you know, it's not as challenging as the old course or as the course from last year, but it's just a lot better for the event. We completely rely on volunteers and staff to help us out. I mean, our staff is very good at what they do, and you know, having them out there makes everybody feel safe. It makes me feel safe having the lifeguards out there, and everybody I've talked to, participant-wise, said, you know, we usually go above and beyond what we really need in the water. You know, by certain rules, you only need so many lifeguards, but we try to double that number at least, just to make everybody feel like we have a good presence out there. And as far as the volunteers go, I mean, we absolutely rely on volunteers for all of our races. Without them, we could not do this stuff. I mean, there's a lot of different positions where you need people at, just kind of directing traffic, or handing out waters, you know, or you know, picking up areas or helping set up, and it's a lot of coordination. It's a lot of people, and it's a long process too. I mean, it takes us almost 3 days to set up for these races, and get everything out there, and then it's just a mass chaos after the race, just taking everything down. We love having the volunteers, especially the sponsors like Allegiant Health and Hy-Vee. They're very gracious to bring people out to all of our events, along with, you know, we have a lot of others. I probably can't remember all the names right now, but you know, we love having all the sponsors, all the volunteers that come back every year, so that way they know what they're doing.
The same weekend as the triathlon, Papillion hosted the Twilight Bike Criterium.
Sitting in the stands watching the race, it was hot and you could get overheated. And to watch these racers push it to their limits in that heat was pretty incredible. I know just from an organizational standpoint, it was a challenge to get the course set up, to get everything lined up in that heat. And we had some real concerns for the safety of the racers. But really, a few said that they pulled out because they overheated. But they didn't blame the weather either. So all in all, for as hot as it was, as brutal as the conditions were, the race went off without a hitch, and the racers put up with it just fine. I think we're a long way from charging admission to the event, but that's never going to be our intention either. The weather was hot, and I think that the number of participants maybe was down a little bit because of that, and certainly I think the number of spectators may have been down because of that. But everybody that I talked to who was there had a wonderful time, told me personally that it was a great experience and a great venue for racing, and I think that the product remained at a very high level. I've been told by many racers who've done it now more than once that this is the highlight of their year. And I'm not saying that to brag about the race, but I've been told that by a number of people. It's considered the premier road racing event in Nebraska. It's a high point on the Nebraska racing calendar. We attract riders from out of state. We had participants with a California address this year. I think another one from either Utah or Nevada. We attracted several from the Kansas City area, Sioux Falls, Sioux City, Des Moines. So it's a race that's very well liked by the racers. I've been told by a number that this is what they peak for. This is the race that they put a big X on their calendar for. So that is something that I think we should be proud of. That we provide a quality event. The racers feel welcome. They feel safe. They love the ambiance, and I think it has a bright future. I think it's important to point out that we have multiple races throughout the day, different levels. There's a category for beginners, there's a category for experts, and there are categories in between. So you can race your bike at any level and experience this, but it's also very fun for spectators to come out and simply watch and be entertained.
Vaudeville Show 2011. It's coming up at Sumter Amphitheater on Sunday, August 7th. This fundraiser for our senior center features great local talent. Please come out and support the show and our seniors at the same time. And catch the Pack Band and the Sarpy Serenaders at the Sumter Sunday Acoustic Series. And the Starlight Movie Series features Toy Story 3 on Friday, August 12th. And we are thrilled to announce the premier Lucky Bucket Blues Festival on August 20th. It features the funk blues band Here Come the Mummies. And now for more information about Papillion, go to www.papillion.org or just call the Mayor's Hotline at 402-827-1111. Thanks for watching.